I've come to two conclusions. One, they're just swinging wild, Francine, and they're just trying to hit whatever they can. They're going back to their old playbook of just call it every bad name in the book. Or option B, they're playing a huge mind game, and this is actually a really funny joke.
All right, so moving on to the culture corner, we have a bar in Sacramento, a pub. Sorry.
Oh,
very appropriate
please.
For, even though this happened
down to the old pub
a few days ago. We have a pub in Sacramento because why wouldn't it be in California, right? Who kowtows to of all things Antifa.
We get it.
The moral titans that are Antifa. And the article is Sacramento pub apologizes after Antifa condemns it for showing Harry Potter video game footage. If you remember a few episodes ago, I think we've talked about it on a couple episodes, the Hogwarts Legacy video game that has the T in LGBT losing their minds because of its obvious association with J.K. Rowling. And anyway, so Antifa apparently brought their bats and chains and stuff to yell at a pub for and automatic dildos to a pub to get mad at them for showing Hogwarts Legacy video game footage in the pub. And again, like I said, the Sacramento pub has since apologized because why not only negotiate with terrorists but apologize to them. But we'll get into what exactly Antifa was upset about the game here in a moment.
I mean, I can only imagine, is this like an Antifa pub? Like, do a lot of their patrons support Antifa? Well, I guess it is California, so maybe they do.
Right, Sacramento of all, the capital.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, those fucking Antifers aren't going to be in a pub of all places. That's not.
I know.
It's not where their kind are, right? They're out there fighting injustice wherever they see it and not taking too much for a job well done,
Yeah, punching people with MAGA hats, that kind of thing.
The real racists out there.
Yeah.
Doing the Batman shit, only not Batman-like.
Time well spent, those Antifa folks.
Right.
Time well spent. Anyway, the sub title to the main title says, quote, the Antifa account blasted the pub, claiming its staff, quote, turned on a live stream for customers. Jeez, why can't I talk tonight? Turned on a live stream for customers of the transphobic, anti-Semitic, and racist video game. Now, from David and I's previous coverage of Hogwarts Legacy, the transphobic one is obvious, like we said. J.K. Rowling, as a TERF, has her opinions about transgenderism as it relates to feminism and blah, blah, blah. So that one I understood. But when I first read this, I was like, anti-Semitic and I understand in the super leftist Antifa, what's left of their mental capacity, that everything that they disagree with is racist and bigoted and whatever. I get that, right? They just throw these labels around willy-nilly, but I was like, how in the hell did they pull out of their ass? Sorry, bad words. How do they pull out of their tuchus?
Not a bad word.
Not when you're referring to the animal. Otherwise, context. How do you pull out of your derriere the fact that the game is anti-Semitic or racist? Like, how would they, David, what were your thoughts when you first heard that? Where you're like, did you even try to figure out where they were going with that? Or did you know right out of the gate? At first,
I was like, that's just dumb. How could a video game be racist, especially when it has black characters, white characters, Asian characters, pretty much every type of human that you could possibly see. And come to find out from my lovely co-host over here, doesn't she just look lovely tonight in her little black tie and suit jacket? I
would have had a green one, but I don't have one.
Green's not a good color for us.
I haven't bought a green tie since one time I saw...
He says in a green shirt.
Super detour here. I saw a situation one time where a meteorologist, because they have the green screen behind him. He wore a green tie, and so like the map was on his tie, and people were making fun of him. And like,
can't mess it up.
So I was like, even though we don't have a green screen, we got green lights.
Yeah,
we're festive.
Look at that.
ever since then, I just said I will never buy a green tie, but maybe I should do it just for these once a year episodes.
You never know. I meant to get some like cool glasses, but they didn't have them.
But you can't pinch me because there's green back here, okay? I might not be wearing it, but I am associated with it. So pinch yourself. Anyway, sorry. Detour over. Back on tracks.
So I've come to two conclusions. One, they're just swinging wild, Francine. And they're just trying to hit whatever they can. They're going back to their old playbook of just call it every bad name in the book. Or option B, they're playing a huge mind game, and this is actually a really funny joke.
I mean, I laugh at them every time.
Because I'm going to wait for you to describe how this game is racist, and then I'm going to explain my point on the huge psyop that they're running. That is going to be a very funny joke.
Okay. So I'll separate out the buckets for anti-Semitic and racist claims just for a moment, but they're actually one and the same, I think. I did very tertiary investigation into what they could possibly be referring to as
like
anti-Semitic
their
and
accusations.
racist. Right, exactly. So if they're referring to something else as being racist, maybe I missed it. I didn't read a whole bunch of articles, and I really could care less than a negative amount about these people to actually care about what their concerns are. But anyway, the racism is not as clearly obvious as the anti-Semitic claim, but I think they're one and the same. And that claim is that the goblins in the Harry Potter universe,
A fictional character in
Exactly.
the fictional universe,
happen to be the, runners, managers, owners, organizers, whatever, of the Gringotts Bank. Gringotts, however you pronounce it.
Gringotts.
And based on the way they are described and then depicted in movies and everything else like that, including this game, is that according to the, leftist brain drivel, that is anti-Semitic because these goblins have allegedly Jewish features, and the fact that they are running the banks in the Hogwarts universe is further evidence of J.K. Rowling's anti-Semitism, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I fully
you forgot
concede.
one thing too, by the way.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. What was that?
The nose.
What
They cited
Wait.
the nose too.
did I say?
You didn't say it.
Okay. Okay. Yes, they say that in addition to their occupation, they have. What's
Large proboscises.
What's the word? So I don't get see. This is the stupid thing, right?
Yes.
I
So
have to
you'll
worry
say
about.
it, but
I
an
have to
algorithm will hear it and not have
Right.
any
I
context.
have to figure out how to convey the message without being canceled for something that came up in their brains.
Right.
This
is what pulls my train, my conspiracy train, into station 9 3/4.
All right. So you're going to jump off on that in just 1 second. Okay. So in addition to their occupation, their physical description, both apparently in the books and in media, so whether it be the movies, the video game, etc., has features that I guess traditionally for people who actually were throughout history, let's, break Godwin's law and say the Nazis, when they would depict Jewish individuals, they would create caricatures, nose and looking kind of like miserly and all of that kind of stuff. And that's the way these goblins appear in both apparently in the Harry Potter description and in the game Hogwarts Legacy. So that's why it's allegedly anti-Semitic. And that's why also similarly why it's racist, because you're, anti-Semitism is just racism, but more narrowly defined to one group. So with that being said, that's the claim from, again, the moral authorities that are Antifa. Refer back to Chaz for, how, much they should be trusted to run society. And then now I'm going to let David tell you his 2 points, assuming I haven't talked so long that he forgot what they were.
No, of course not. Okay, so here comes the conspiracy theory. Well, it's not even conspiracy theory. This is just banal. There's no real... If that's truly what they think, then like Dane says, the IQ right around room temperature, yada, yada, yada. But what I think they also might be doing here is if they did this on purpose, now if they did it unintentionally, they're letting their weenie hang out of their sundress or whatever they're wearing. By noting that a made-up fictional beast of myth in a made-up fictional world, in a made-up fictional universe, has the same characteristics as, what are those called? I'm blanking on it right now. Stereotypes. You followed stereotypes that were characteristics of this made-up thing, and you took it upon yourself to apply those into the real world to the people that have them. So either you're making a huge joke saying that you're calling a video game racist or a storyline racist or a piece of cinema or a piece of art or entertainment racist through your own racist goggles. Now, if that was your joke, Antifa, that's hilarious. And I want you to take credit for it, because that's like some deep-seated, like Bill Hicks kind of like a joke within a joke that teaches a lesson kind of thing. But if that wasn't your intention, then I'd argue that you're the racists, because you're the ones that say that those characteristics are indicative of that, and that is racist for them to do that. You're looking at it through racist colored glasses. So thusly, we arrive back, you're hypocritical. And the universe does not like a paradox. You are your own paradox. You hate fascists, but employ fascistic tactics. You hate racism, but use that lens to view the world. I could go on. It's you are your own joke. And when you wake up one day and realize that, the world will probably be a better place. That's all I'll say.
I could not possibly agree more. So I will say in closing on this segment, I will say that I am going to try my best to be a neutral arbiter here and say that I'll give you the arguments for both sides, right? Because we have a bit of a chicken or an egg scenario. On the one hand, you could say, as David said in point 2, that this is just pure projection. Is that because they have built up these anti-Semitic tropes in their own brain, or they have internalized them to such a degree that they see it everywhere where it's not, or it wasn't intended. And so by pointing it out and saying, oh, you made the goblins and Harry Potter look just this way, and you made the goblins run the banks in the Harry Potter universe, that means you're anti-Semitic. Well, maybe that means you're anti-Semitic because that's the only way you're capable of thinking about someone with those particular types of features or in that particular type of job is associated with the thing anti-Semitism. That's one way to see it. That's the anti-Antifa way to see it. The other way to see it is, well, they do have the features they have, and they do have the jobs they have in the Harry Potter universe, and so maybe it was intentional. I find that kind of hard to believe because I haven't seen or heard, as opposed to heard transgender comments, I haven't seen or heard anything from J.K. Rowling that would suggest that she's in any way anti-Semitic. And then if you pile it on top of that, like what is one of the tropes of anti-Semites, right, is that, apparently, Jews run all of the media, like the entertainment, Hollywood, et cetera, et cetera.
Damn it, you just took my joke.
Well, sorry. I'm sure you'll still have it because mine's not joking. Mine's more serious. Your joke is still going to be left to you. Is that Harry Potter is a major entertainment franchise in terms of movies, video games, and everything else in between. And if it were true, as the anti-Semites claim, that that group of people controls all of that, do you really think that they would be pushing an anti-Semitic trope? I don't think that that's the case. So for Antifa to claim that J.K. Rowling is both not only anti-transgender, but also anti-Semitic and racist because of these particular characters in her universe, seems to be a little bit of a stretch. So But again, that's the neutral play. That's the argument from both sides. You decide which you think is true. I lean personally towards the side that they're simply projecting, is that because they have internalized these tropes themselves, they see it everywhere where it's not, and then they call you the bad person for not seeing it, or they're somehow more morally virtuous for seeing it before you, you know, that kind of thing. So anyway, that's where I'll leave it. I hope I didn't destroy David's joke. We're going to see if he can pull it out.
All I was gonna ask is if J.K. Rowling had any of them like directing movies, or had like a casting couch where young starlets would come in and, you know, because the Jews run Hollywood, according to Yee. Anyway, I've got a third caveat that kind of tacks on to like, or maybe before, when they were 16-year-old assholes watching a movie and they saw this, they leaned over in a theater or their house, wherever they're watching, is like, the dude with a big nose running a bank, you know, and went, Jew. And then his friend like started chuckling and stuff like that. So he still feels guilty that he made that joke. So now that he's woke, he has to stand up because of that guilt and make his guilt everyone else's problem and call everyone else racist when he feels bad about that joke that he made when he was 16.
I would just suggest to you, dear listener and viewer, before we move on, I would just suggest to you that the group of people that run around town lighting trash cans on fire, hitting people over the head with bike chains, you know, saying that it's okay to punch a Nazi when Nazi is such a nebulous, ill-defined term that could apply to pretty much anybody that's marginally to the right of whatever they believe in. I would suggest to you that that group of people is not terribly credentialed in the realm of being able to call out people for doing bad things. That's about as general as I can make that statement.
By the way, I appreciate the landmine that you walked through with the proboscis thing. That was very nice.
What proboscis thing?
You're going to go right back into the landmine if we start going through it.
We're not going to do it.
I'm just commending you.
Listen, I'm going to take the commendation and we're going to move on to the next thing.
Next song. Next song. Next.